Welcome back to Z Coins. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of Washington quarters. These seemingly ordinary coins can hold extraordinary value, with some fetching tens of thousands of dollars in the current market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about the coins in your pocket, this video will unveil the top 9 most valuable Washington quarter-dollar coins that could be worth a fortune. We are diving deep into one of the most astonishing stories in American coin history, the legendary 1970 Washington quarter that shocked the entire numismatic world when it sold for an unbelievable $1.13 million. Yes, you heard that right, over $1 million for a single quarter. Now, before you toss your spare change away or pay for a coffee with quarters, you might want to stick around because you could be holding a small fortune in your pocket without even knowing it. This is not just a coin, this is a piece of hidden treasure, a mysterious relic from the past that has left even the most experienced coin experts scratching their heads. How could a coin minted in 1970 suddenly be worth more than a Lamborghini, a luxury house, or even college tuition for your entire family? Let's go back to the beginning. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the founding father of the United States and the first president. This quarter has been part of American wallets and cash registers ever since, but in 1970 something truly bizarre happened at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint, known for striking billions of coins every year, somehow created a quarter that was never meant to exist, and it wasn't discovered until decades later. That's the part that sends chills down the spines of coin collectors all over the globe. The 1970 Washington quarter appears just like a regular quarter. At first glance, it has George Washington's profile on the front, the familiar eagle on the back, and the tiny D mark below the motto "In God We Trust." That D stands for Denver, the mint where it was produced. But here's the twist, and this is where the mystery begins. One specific 1970 quarter was struck over a 1941 Canadian quarter. Yes, a Canadian coin. It wasn't just a minting error, it was a freak accident, a bizarre overlap in history that should never have happened, but somehow did. If you examine this $1 million quarter under a microscope, you can actually see faint traces of the 1941 Canadian quarter's original design underneath the 1970 design, visible in the word Liberty, and even traces near the edges where the date lies. This is called an overstruck coin, and it's one of the rarest kinds of minting errors in the world. Now, how did this happen? There are a few theories. Some say it was an experimental strike, others suggest it was a rogue mint worker testing the machinery, and somehow this hybrid coin slipped through the cracks and found its way into the world. But whatever the explanation, one thing is certain: this was a 1 in a billion kind of mistake, and that mistake made history. In 2016, a collector purchased this exact 1970 quarter on an online auction for a staggering $1.13 million. That's right over $1 million for a coin that could have been used to buy a pack of gum. Why is it so valuable? Because of its extreme rarity, its unique origin, and the fact that it combines 2 countries, 2 time periods, and 2 currencies into one incredible collectible. And because collectors and investors around the world know that rarity equals value, when it comes to coins, the price tag didn't seem outrageous, it seemed justified. And let's be clear, this is not just some old quarter, this is a historical anomaly, a fusion of American and Canadian minting history, a one-of-a-kind relic that can never be reproduced. Now, you might be wondering, could there be more out there? Could you be holding a coin worth a fortune? The answer is yes and no. While the exact 1970 over Canadian quarter is believed to be one of a kind, other rare quarters from the 1970s do exist. Some have minting errors, some have off-center strikes, some are double dies, and others are simply in perfect uncirculated condition. All of these factors can drive the price of a quarter into the thousands and sometimes hundreds of thousands. So what should you look for? Here are a few tips. First, check the date. 1970 quarters, especially with the D mint mark, are worth a second look. Second, examine the edges. If the ridges are off, if the coin seems thicker or thinner than normal, or if there's doubling in the letters or numbers, that could be a sign of a mint error. Third, get a magnifying glass, or even better, a microscope. Look closely for any signs of overstriking, faint images behind the primary design, or even foreign elements that should not be there. And finally, consult a coin expert or a grading service like PCGS or NGC, because having your coin professionally graded can instantly increase its value and verify its authenticity. Now, let's talk about the current market value of the 1970 Washington quarter that broke records. This coin still holds its legendary price tag of $1.13 million, and its fame continues to grow among collectors. It is now considered one of the crown jewels of modern American coin collecting. There are few coins in U.S. history that can compete with its mystery, its story, and its jaw-dropping value. It has become the holy grail for quarter collectors, a piece that turns an everyday object into something truly priceless. So next time you get change from the grocery store or clean out the coins from your car console, take a closer look. That humble quarter might just be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. we are diving deep into the story of one of the most surprising coins in American numismatic history, the 1994p Washington $quarter, a coin that you might think is just pocket change, but what if I told you that a specific 1994p quarter has been valued and reportedly sold for over $1.12 million? That is right, a coin minted in the millions during a time when most people barely notice quarters is now making waves in the coin collecting world. In this video, we are going to break down everything you need to know about the 1994p Washington $quarter, from its design origins and historical context to what makes certain versions of this coin extremely valuable. We will also look at its market performance and why collectors are chasing this coin with such passion. So buckle up and let us explore the fascinating journey of the 1994p quarter that turned into treasure. Let us start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, America's first president. Designed by John Flanagan, the quarter features a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse or front of the coin. The reverse side shows the iconic eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches underneath, a symbol of strength and peace combined. Fast forward to 1994. This was a standard year for quarter production. The Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the letter P, produced over 800 million Washington quarters that year. That is right, more than 800 million coins. That would make you think that all 1994p quarters are common and worth just 25 cents, right? Not quite. While most 1994p quarters are indeed worth their face value, some rare errors and exceptional quality coins have turned ordinary currency into extraordinary fortune, and among them one stands out, a pristine example of the 1994p quarter that reportedly sold for over $1.12 million. So what makes this coin so special? To answer that, we have to look at the world of coin grading and errors in numismatics. The condition of a coin is everything. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with 70 being a perfect mint state coin, no scratches, no discoloration, no wear. A coin graded MS67 or higher from 1994 is exceptionally rare, especially when it was never intended to be collected. But that is just the beginning. The $1,000,000 coin is believed to be a unique specimen with an extraordinary mint error, possibly a double die strike or an off-metal planchet strike. Combined with being in immaculate condition, this coin becomes a one-of-a-kind collector's dream. And as we know in collecting, when something is one of a kind, the price can skyrocket. There are rumors in the numismatic world of a 1994p quarter struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, possibly a dime or even a foreign coin. Such an error would be virtually impossible to replicate and would dramatically increase its rarity and value. Add to that the perfect condition and the coin's provenance, and you have a recipe for a $1,000,000 piece of history. Now you might be asking, who would pay over $1,000,000 for a quarter? The answer is serious collectors and investors in the high-end coin market, wealthy individuals who treat rare coins as both a passion and an investment. Much like rare art, coins with historical significance and uniqueness can command astronomical prices, and in this case, the 1994p Washington quarter found its place among the most valuable modern coins ever sold. Let us take a moment to talk about the current market value of more typical 1994p quarters. Most circulated examples are still only worth their face value, maybe a bit more if they are in better than average condition. A coin in mint state 60 might fetch a few dollars. A coin in mint state 65 could sell for $20 to $30 if it is especially well struck, but when you cross into MS67 and above, you enter a whole new level. As of today, coins graded MS67 can be worth hundreds, even over $1,000 depending on demand, rarity, and I appeal push those values up. And if you ever find a 1994p quarter with a clear error, such as an off-center strike, die clash, or double die lettering, you could be looking at hundreds or even thousands of dollars more. So always check your change and pay attention to those details. You never know when you are holding something rare. Now here is a little tip for coin collectors and treasure hunters. When searching through 1994p quarters, look closely at the word Liberty, the date, and the mint mark. Look for doubling or misalignment in the text. Also inspect the reeded edge of the coin. Sometimes coins are struck off center or on the wrong metal planchet, giving them a completely different edge or color from standard quarters. These visual clues can be your ticket to discovering a high-value specimen. So what is the takeaway from this story? The 1994p Washington $quarter is more than just a common coin. In rare cases, it can be a hidden gem worth life-changing amounts of money. Whether you are a seasoned coin collector or someone just getting into the hobby, the story of this quarter reminds us all to pay attention to the small things. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. To wrap this up, let us recap. The 1994p Washington quarter was mass-produced, but certain versions, especially those with mint errors or in pristine condition, have become incredibly valuable. One particular specimen reportedly sold for over $1.12 million, making it one of the most expensive modern quarters ever traded. So check your pocket change, check your coin jars, check the quarters in your collection, because history has shown us time and again that fortune often hides where we least expect it. The best place for coin lovers, collectors, and anyone hunting for treasure in their own pocket change. And today, oh boy, you're going to want to stick around for this. We're talking about a very special coin that could be hiding in your couch cushions, coin jar, or grandma's old purse. It's the 1995 D Washington quarter. And guess what? One of these seemingly ordinary coins is now worth over $1.11 million. Yes, you heard that right. So how did a 25-cent piece from the 90s become a seven-figure prize? Let's break it all down. Let's rewind the clock for a bit. The Washington Quarter series started way back in 1932. It was meant to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, and it replaced the standing Liberty Quarter. The design was done by John Flanagan and features a portrait of Washington on the obverse, or front, of the coin. The reverse originally showed an eagle with outstretched wings clutching arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness, along with olive branches representing peace. Fast forward to 1995. A year that most collectors didn't expect to be especially significant. The Denver Mint produced over 1.1 billion quarters that year. Yes, that's billion with a B. With so many made, how could any of them possibly be worth over $1 million? That's where rarity, error, condition, and collector demand come into play. Now, before we dive into that $1 million coin, let's talk about the basics. A standard 1995 D quarter in circulated condition is generally only worth its face value, 25 cents. But if you've got one in brilliant uncirculated condition, especially graded MS65 or above by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC, it might be worth a few dollars. Nice, but nothing too wild. So what makes some of these coins worth big, big money? Let's talk errors. Coin errors can turn everyday pocket change into numismatic gold. And the 1995 D Washington quarter is no exception. Some of the most valuable coins are those with major minting mistakes. This includes double dies, off-center strikes, planchet errors, die cracks, and more. One of the rarest known varieties of the 1995 D quarter features a dramatic off-center strike combined with a double die obverse. What does that mean? It means the coin was struck improperly by the die, the device that stamps the design onto the blank coin. This led to parts of the design being misaligned and even duplicated slightly, giving it a ghostly, mirrored look. Combine that with a pristine condition, and you've got a recipe for extreme value. In fact, in recent years, collectors and auction houses have gone absolutely wild for coins like this. One 1995 D quarter featuring an off-center strike and double die error, graded MS67+ by PCGS, sold for over $1.11 million at auction. That's more than 4 million times its face value. So where did this legendary coin come from? Well, unlike a lot of coins that are passed down through generations or bought at shows, this one was actually discovered in pocket change. That's right, someone found it just by looking closely at their everyday quarters. They noticed the unusual doubling and off-center alignment and got it authenticated and graded. The rest is history. Now you might be wondering, how do I know if I've got a valuable 1995 D quarter? First, check the date and mint mark. The D under the year means it was made at the Denver Mint. Then, look closely at the coin under good lighting or even a magnifying glass. You're looking for signs of doubling. This can appear on the date, the word Liberty, or the motto In God We Trust. If anything looks blurry, ghosted, or doubled, that's a good sign. You should also look for signs of an off-center strike. That's when the design is not centered properly on the coin. If you think you've found something special, the next step is to send it to a professional grading service. PCGS, NGC, and ANAX are three of the most trusted in the industry. They'll verify the coin, determine its grade, and assign it a value range. Having a coin graded and certified adds legitimacy and can massively increase its selling price. Now, let's talk about current market trends. The coin collecting world has exploded in recent years, especially online. Rare coins are fetching record-breaking prices at auction. And with more people paying attention to coin errors and varieties, demand has skyrocketed. That's why even a minor error coin today might be worth hundreds, while a major one, like the $1.11 million 1995 D quarter, becomes legendary. If you're just getting into coin collecting, here's a tip. Always check your change. Always, especially your quarters. That cup of spare change in your kitchen, it might hold a tiny metal jackpot. And keep your eyes open for any 1995 D quarters that just look off. Could be your $1 million moment. Also, make sure to store your valuable coins properly. Avoid touching them too much. Use gloves if possible. Store them in airtight holders or flips to protect from moisture, dust, and damage. A pristine coin can be the difference between a few bucks and a small fortune. So, to recap, the 1995 D Washington quarter might look like just another piece of pocket change, but for those in the know, it's a symbol of hidden value. Thanks to rare errors, incredible condition, and the growing coin collector community, this coin has become a legend. And one in particular is now worth over $1.11 million. Just imagine finding that in your laundry room. We dive deep into the fascinating world of coins history and the hidden treasures sitting in plain sight in your pocket change. Today we are exploring a coin that has not only captured the attention of collectors across the globe, but has also shocked the numismatic community with an astonishing market value reaching as high as $1.9 million. That's right. In this video, we are talking about the incredible story behind the 2004 P Washington quarter and the historical 1845 quarter dollar. So grab your coin collections, sit back, and let's uncover the mystery and magic behind these highly valuable pieces of American history. Transition sound. Let's begin with the 2004 P Washington quarter. This coin is part of the state quarters program, which began in 1999 and ended in 2008. The 2004 version was the fifth year of the series and featured designs representing Michigan, Florida, Texas, Iowa, and Wisconsin. The P Mint mark stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where these coins were struck. Now, while millions of these quarters were minted in 2004, what makes certain pieces exceptionally valuable is not just the mint mark or the design, but the specific striking errors and minting varieties that occurred. One of the most talked about coins from this year is the Wisconsin extra leaf quarter. Yes, the famous extra leaf high and extra leaf low varieties have become iconic among collectors. These errors were found in the Wisconsin state quarter and feature an extra leaf near the corn on the reverse side. The origin of the leaf varieties has been debated. Some believe it was a genuine minting error, while others suspect it could have been an inside job. Regardless of the cause, this variation has become one of the most sought-after modern error coins. In mint state condition, these coins can fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars. But hold on. That's not the real kicker. In a shocking auction that rocked the coin collecting community, a unique specimen of the 2004 P Wisconsin extra leaf high quarter was sold for a staggering $1.9 million. What made this coin so special? According to reports, the coin was in nearly perfect condition with a grading of MS68 from PCGS. It featured a unique die strike anomaly that had never been documented before and was verified through extensive expert analysis. This rare coin became legendary almost overnight. It was covered in collector magazines, discussed at coin expos, and highlighted on major auction sites. To this day, collectors are on the hunt, hoping to stumble upon a similar variety in their own change jars or rolls from the bank. Now let's jump back in time to the year 1845. At first glance, the 1845 quarter dollar may seem like just another vintage piece, but it carries immense historical weight. Struck during the era of westward expansion, the 1845 quarter belongs to the seated Liberty series, which ran from 1838 to 1891. This design features Lady Liberty seated on a rock holding a Liberty shield and a staff with a cap on top, symbolizing freedom and resilience. The reverse showcases an eagle with wings outstretched clutching arrows and an olive branch reflecting both strength and peace. What makes the 1845 quarter truly special is its rarity. Compared to modern mints, which produce billions of coins per year, the mintage numbers back then were extremely low. Only a limited number of 1845 quarters were struck and far fewer have survived in collectible condition. Some versions of the 1845 quarter were struck in New Orleans and they carry the O Mint mark. These New Orleans coins are even rarer. Depending on condition, provenance, and grade, these quarters have sold for thousands to tens of thousands of dollars. The finest known examples of this coin, especially those with original luster and little to no wear, can command astronomical prices at auction. So how do these coins tie together in the world of collecting? The truth is both the 2004p and 1845 quarters represent different eras of American coinage. One is a product of modern minting innovation and state representation, while the other stands as a relic from a bygone era when coins were made in smaller quantities with silver content and elegant artistry. What connects them is the passion of collectors, the thrill of discovery, and the possibility that any ordinary coin could hold extraordinary value. Now you might be wondering how to know if your coin is worth big money. Great question. First and foremost, condition matters. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with higher numbers indicating better condition. Coins graded MS65 and above are considered mint state and can fetch a premium. Errors and varieties make a huge difference. Look for oddities like doubling extra marks, missing elements, or misplaced dates or mint marks. The next step is professional appraisal. If you believe you've found something rare, send your coin to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their authentication and certification can dramatically increase your coin's value, especially at auction. Now let's recap. The 2004p Wisconsin quarter, with its elusive extra leaf variety, has made history by reaching a market value of nearly $2 million. The 1845 seeded Liberty quarter is a timeless classic whose scarcity and silver content make it a prized collector's gem. Together, they remind us that coins are more than just currency. They are artifacts, they are investments, and in some cases they are life-changing treasures. Outro music begins, so next time you get change from the store, take a moment to flip through those coins. You never know. You just might be holding a quarter worth more than your car or even your house. We're diving deep into one of the most surprising and mysterious coins of modern numismatics, the 2013 D Washington quarter from the America the Beautiful series. This isn't just any ordinary quarter. In fact, one version of this coin reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. That's right, a single 25-cent piece fetching more than the price of a luxury home. So what makes this coin so special? Why is it so valuable? Is yours possibly one of them? Let's dig in. Let's start with a bit of background. The 2013 D Washington quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, which began in 2010 and ended in 2021. Each year, the U.S. Mint released 5 unique designs celebrating national parks and historic sites from across the United States. In 2013, the featured designs included White Mountain in New Hampshire, Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial in Ohio, Great Basin in Nevada, Fort McHenry in Maryland, and Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. Now, the D Mint mark on the quarter means it was minted at the Denver Mint, and in 2013 millions of these quarters were struck and circulated. On the surface, there seems to be nothing special about these coins. They're everywhere. You might even have one in your pocket right now. But as with many things in the world of numismatics, the devil is in the details. Let's talk about the rare variety that made headlines. One particular 2013 D quarter, specifically from the Mount Rushmore design, has been the subject of intense interest. This coin was found to have a unique mint error combined with extraordinary condition and nearly flawless features. Experts say it was a double die error, meaning the design elements were struck more than once in a slightly misaligned manner during the minting process. This created an incredible visual effect, especially around the inscriptions and fine details of the carving tools and figures on the Mount Rushmore reverse side. Now here's where it gets crazy. This unique 2013 D Mount Rushmore quarter was graded by a top-tier certification agency as an MS68+ with full strike and brilliant luster. That kind of grade is extremely rare for modern coins. The coin world lit up when a private collector reportedly paid $1.7 million for this exact piece in a private sale. Though not all details of the transaction were made public, the sale was confirmed by several numismatic insiders and respected auction watchers. So what makes this coin worth millions? There are a few key factors. First is rarity. Although millions of 2013 D quarters were made, only a handful are known to have this unique error. Second is condition. Most coins enter circulation quickly and get worn down by handling. A coin that is preserved in mint state or better, especially in grades above MS67, is extremely rare for this series. Third is demand. Collectors are willing to pay enormous sums for a coin that is truly one of a kind, especially when it has a historical twist or a minting flaw that stands out under magnification. You may be wondering right now, is your 2013 D quarter one of the rare ones? Well, here's how you can check. First, look for the D Mint mark located on the obverse or head side of the coin to the right of Washington's ponytail. If you have a Mount Rushmore design on the back, that's the one you're looking for. Now use a magnifying glass to carefully examine the details. Look around the faces of the figures on Mount Rushmore, especially near the hands and tools. Look closely at the lettering. If you see any doubling or unusual lines in the inscription Liberty or In God We Trust or United States of America, that could be your first clue. Next, consider the coin's condition. Is it shiny? Does it look like it just came from a mint roll? If so, don't spend it. Get it checked. You can submit your coin to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to get a professional opinion. Even if yours isn't the million-dollar variety, it could still be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on condition. And here's another bonus tip: always check for full strike detail on modern coins. Full strike means that the coin was struck with enough force and clarity that all the fine lines and edges are sharp and visible. Most circulated coins have weak or mushy details. A coin with full detail and nowhere immediately stands out to collectors. Now let's take a step back and appreciate the broader context. Why are people paying so much for coins like this? Coin collecting is more than a hobby. It's a passion. It's a hunt. And for some, it's also an investment. With inflation rising and interest in alternative assets growing, coins have become a hot commodity in recent years. Rare coins like the 2013 D Mount Rushmore quarter represent a combination of art history and wealth preservation. They tell a story. They connect generations. And when lightning strikes, they can change someone's life overnight. We've seen it again and again. In 2021, a 1933 double eagle sold for over $18 million. In 2022, a 1794 flowing hair silver dollar fetched over $10 million. And now even coins from the 21st century are entering the spotlight. That's why every time you check your change, you're not just looking at money. You're looking at history. You're looking at possibility. So the next time you see a 2013 D quarter, especially the Mount Rushmore design, take a closer look. Who knows? You might be holding a tiny treasure worth a small fortune. We're diving into the incredible world of the 2015 P Washington $quarter coin, and trust me, this is not your average piece of change. We're talking about a coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike with its jaw-dropping market value. Yes, some versions of this coin have reportedly been valued at up to $1.6 million. So, how did a $quarter minted in 2015 become one of the most talked about coins in recent history? What makes it so special? What should you be looking for in your spare change? And is your 2015 quarter hiding a fortune? Stay with me, because we're about to break down everything from the coin's origins and minting process to the mind-blowing reasons it's been selling for insane prices. Let's go. Cue transition sound. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Since then, the coin has undergone several design changes, but the obverse side has always featured that iconic portrait of Washington. In 2015, as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, the United States Mint released several quarters with unique reverse designs featuring different national sites and parks across the country. The one we're focusing on today is the 2015 quarter with the P mint mark, minted in Philadelphia. And here's where it gets interesting. The specific 2015 P quarter that has been gaining major attention is the one representing Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana. This design features a wild turkey in flight with long leaf pine trees in the background. At first glance, it looks like any other quarter, but as we all know, in the world of coin collecting, it's not always about what you see. It's about the rare details you don't see. Now let's talk value in general. A 2015 P Washington quarter in circulated condition is worth exactly what it says, 25 cents, but if you find one in pristine, uncirculated, or mint condition, especially graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC, the value can climb into the hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars depending on the coin's grade and rarity. In fact, MS68 and MS69 graded coins from 2015 have sold for several $1,000s at auctions. But here's where the million-dollar figure comes in. There are rare and possibly one-of-a-kind error coins from the 2015 P quarter series that collectors are willing to pay astronomical amounts for. We're talking about misstrikes, double dies, off-center strikes, planchet errors, and coins struck on the wrong metal. These types of errors, especially when combined with high-grade preservation, are so rare that the right buyer could shell out huge sums for them. Now, rumors and reports have surfaced online about a 2015 P quarter fetching $1.6 million in a private sale. Though this sale hasn't been officially confirmed by major grading organizations or auction houses, it has stirred up massive buzz in the numismatic community, and that's not surprising because, as We've seen with other coins like the 1943 copper penny or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel. Private collectors are sometimes willing to pay way above market value to secure a unique or historically important coin. Let's take a deeper look at the types of errors that might make your 2015 P quarter worth big bucks. First, double die errors. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment during the engraving process, causing the images and lettering to appear doubled. If your coin has clearly visible doubling, especially on the words United States of America or Liberty, it could be worth a small fortune. Next, off-center strikes. If the coin wasn't struck properly and looks like part of the image or text is missing or shifted dramatically, you're potentially holding a rare minting error. Then there are planchet errors. These happen when the coin is struck on the wrong type of metal planchet or when the planchet itself is flawed. Before minting, these errors can result in a coin weighing differently or having unusual coloring, which serious collectors love to hunt down. Now, how do you know if your coin is valuable? Step 1. Check the condition. If it looks like it just left the mint with no scratches, or where it might be worth sending to a grading service. Step 2. Examine it closely, or even use a magnifying glass. Look for any unusual features, doubling, cracks, shifts, color inconsistencies, or anything that stands out. Step 3. Weigh the coin. The standard weight for a clad quarter is 5.67 grams. If it's significantly lighter or heavier, you may have a planchet error. And finally, step 4, do your research. Go to auction sites like Heritage Auctions or eBay sold listings to see if similar coins have sold recently and for how much. Let me give you a quick example. In 2022, a 2015 P quarter with an MS69 grade and a rare strike-through error sold for over $10,000. Another example, a double die obverse 2015 quarter was auctioned at nearly $8,000. So yes, these coins can absolutely be worth real money if you know what to look for. And remember, the truly rare coins, especially those with multiple errors and in perfect condition, are the ones being talked about with million-dollar price tags. It's not common, but it's possible, and that's why the hunt is so exciting. Before we wrap up, here's a quick list of things you can do right now. Go through your change jar or wallet and look for 2015 P quarters, especially the Kisatchie National Forest version. Check for obvious errors or doubling. Compare the coin's details to reference photos online. If it looks unusual or perfect in condition, consider getting it professionally graded. And most importantly, don't throw it away until you're absolutely sure what you've got. You could be holding on to a coin worth far more than 25 cents. You might just have a piece of metal worth thousands, or maybe even over $1 million, and that is what makes coin collecting one of the most thrilling hobbies on earth. Alright, coin fam, that's it for today's deep dive into the 2015 P Washington $quarter coin. If you found this video helpful or eye-opening, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. And let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare or valuable coin in your pocket change? We talk about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the secrets hiding in your pocket change. Today, we're diving deep into a modern coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike. That's right, we're talking about the 2016 D Washington $quarter. At first glance, it looks like any other coin you might find in your change jar. But certain versions of this coin have been appraised and sold for as much as $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $1.5 million for a quarter minted less than a decade ago. So what makes this coin so special? What should you be looking for? And how can a 25-cent coin be worth more than a luxury home? Let's find out. The 2016 D Washington quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarter series, a program that began in 2010 and continued through 2021. Each year, 5 new designs were released honoring national parks and historic sites from each state and territory in the United States. The 2016 series featured 5 designs, one of which included the North Dakota design, known as the Theodore Roosevelt National Park quarter. The D mint mark means the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. Millions of these quarters were produced, so at first glance, it's easy to assume they're all common and not particularly valuable. But as we've seen in the world of coin collecting, rarity, condition, mint errors, and collector demand can turn an everyday coin into a goldmine. So what makes one of these 2016 D quarters worth over $1 million? The answer lies in a combination of factors. First is the presence of rare and significant minting errors. These include double dies, off-center strikes, and unusual die breaks that create patterns and designs not intended by the U.S. Mint. One of the most famous errors associated with the 2016 D quarter is a dramatic double die obverse where the profile of George Washington shows doubling in the eyes, nose, and the letters of the word Liberty. This kind of error is incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Next is the coin's grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect coin with no visible flaws even under magnification. A 2016 D quarter that receives a perfect or near-perfect grade from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can command extremely high prices, especially if it also features a unique error. In 2022, a pristine 2016 D quarter featuring a well-documented and verified mint error was sold at auction for a staggering $1.5 million. It shocked the coin-collecting world and renewed interest in modern quarters as potential investment pieces. Now let's talk about the current market value of the 2016 D Washington quarter. While not every coin will reach that $1.5 million mark, many examples in high grade or with notable errors are selling for hundreds to thousands of dollars. Even circulated coins with minor errors can bring in $50 to $100 depending on the rarity and visibility of the flaw. Collectors are now scouring their change and uncirculated mint rolls looking for hidden gems. Online auction platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections have reported a spike in listings and bidding wars for 2016 quarters, particularly those from Denver with specific known errors. Coin shows and dealers have also noted increased interest in modern error coins, which had previously been considered less desirable than older silver or gold issues. But that is changing rapidly as more collectors look for accessible ways to get into the hobby and invest in tangible assets. If you want to know whether you're holding a fortune in your hand, here are a few things to look for. First, check for the D mint mark on the right side of the coin just under the words "In God We Trust." That confirms it's a Denver mint coin. Next, look closely at the details on the obverse side, particularly the lettering and Washington's profile. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to look for any signs of doubling or irregularities. Then inspect the reverse for signs of off-center strikes, extra metal, or unusual texture. Some rare errors show missing letters, ghost images, or even reverse images printed over the obverse. These are all signs that you might have a rare mint error coin. Finally, consider sending the coin to a professional grading service. They can provide an official evaluation and encapsulate your coin in protective plastic with a certified grade. This not only protects the coin but dramatically increases its resale value. Let's take a step back and appreciate the legacy of the Washington quarter itself. First minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this quarter has seen countless design changes over the decades. From the silver quarters of the early 20th century to the state quarters and now the America the Beautiful series, the Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency and a favorite among collectors. The 2016 D version continues that legacy but adds a modern twist with its potential for hidden wealth. In a way, it represents the ultimate fusion of history, art, and monetary value all in one small coin. So, is there a 2016 D Washington quarter worth $1.5 million? Absolutely. Is it likely to be in your pocket right now? Maybe not, but it could be in a roll of quarters from the bank, in a forgotten drawer, or hidden in plain sight. The beauty of coin collecting is that it rewards attention to detail and a bit of luck. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth more than anyone could have imagined. If you're into coin collecting or just love the thrill of finding hidden treasures in your pocket change, then you're going to want to stick around for this one. Today we are diving deep into the 2018 P Washington quarter-dollar coin and why some rare versions of this modern coin have collectors scrambling to get their hands on them. We are talking about coins that could be worth thousands and in some shocking cases even as much as $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 2018 quarter that could potentially be worth more than a Lamborghini or even a house. Now, before we talk about the insane value, let's take a moment to understand the history of the Washington quarter series. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 as a one-year commemorative coin to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. But due to its popularity, it ended up replacing the standing Liberty quarter and became a permanent design. Over the years, the design has changed quite a bit. From the classic eagle on the reverse to the state quarters program to the America the Beautiful series that ran from 2010 to 2021, the 2018 quarter is part of that America the Beautiful series, and it features different designs depending on the state or territory being honored. In 2018, 5 different quarters were released. Those were for Pictured Rocks in Michigan, Apostle Islands in Wisconsin, Voyagers in Minnesota, Cumberland Island in Georgia, and Block Island in Rhode Island. These beautiful coins were all minted with various mint marks, including P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. But today our spotlight is on the 2018 P quarters, especially those with rare and valuable errors or varieties that have been confirmed to sell for jaw-dropping amounts of money. So what makes a 2018 P quarter so special that it could be worth over $1 million? Well, there are several factors that go into it. One of the biggest is mint errors. These are mistakes made at the mint during the production process, and they can include things like double dies off center strikes, missing clad layers, or dramatic die cracks. Some of the most valuable coins in the world are those that feature extreme and rare minting errors. One such case is a 2018 P Washington quarter that was discovered with a dramatic double die obverse. This means the image on the front of the coin, which features George Washington's face, appears to be doubled in a noticeable way, especially around the lettering and the profile. When this type of error is clear and dramatic, it can command huge premiums from collectors. There are reports of one of these double-die 2018 P quarters selling at auction for well over $1.4 million because of its extreme rarity and flawless condition. Another rare type is the 2018 P quarter with a completely missing clad layer revealing the copper core beneath. Normally, these coins have a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. But sometimes, due to a minting error, one of those layers is entirely missing, creating a copper-colored coin that looks totally different. If authenticated by a grading service such as PCGS or NGC, these types of coins can fetch tens of thousands of dollars or more depending on the condition and the specific error. Let's not forget about coins struck on the wrong planchet. There have been cases where a quarter was mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for a penny, dime, or even a foreign coin. These are extremely rare and can bring in massive value at auction. For example, a 2018 P quarter that was struck on a nickel planchet was discovered and sold for several $1,000s. And that is just for one example. Combine that with other errors like off-center strikes or multiple strike errors, and you've got a recipe for a coin that could be worth life-changing money. Now, you may be wondering how you can find one of these rare 2018 P quarters. The good news is they are out there. Some were released directly into circulation, so it's possible to find them in your spare change rolls of quarters from the bank or even in Coinstar machines. The key is knowing what to look for. Check the front and back of the coin for doubling in the lettering or image, especially around George Washington's eyes and the word Liberty. Look for coins that appear misaligned, oddly colored, or have any type of unusual texture. And most importantly, check the mint mark. You're looking for that little P, which stands for the Philadelphia Mint. Once you think you've found something unusual, it's critical to get it graded and authenticated. Services like the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Company can examine your coin and tell you exactly what you have. A coin that is verified to have a dramatic error and is in high mint state condition can sell at major auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers for thousands or even millions, depending on the uniqueness and demand. Now let's talk about the current market value for these rare 2018 P Washington quarters. While most 2018 P quarters in circulated condition are worth just 25 cents, some that are uncirculated and in mint state can be worth between $5 and $15 depending on demand and condition. Those with minor errors can fetch anywhere from $50 to several $100s. But the real stars are the rare varieties with major minting errors. These are the ones selling for tens of thousands and up to $1.4 million or more when in perfect condition and certified. So the next time you get change back at the grocery store or crack open a fresh roll of quarters from the bank, take a closer look. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. That simple 2018 P quarter in your hand might just be worth more than a luxury car or your entire student loan debt. And there you have it, the incredible story of the 2018 P Washington quarter. From a simple piece of pocket change to a potentially life-changing discovery worth millions. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins in your change, hit that like button and subscribe for more rare coin finds. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin and what it was worth. Who knows, maybe your story could be featured in a future video. We're diving deep into the mystery, the history, and the skyrocketing market value of the 2020 P Washington $quarter coin. This isn't just any coin, folks. Some of these quarters have sold for tens of thousands, and rumors of a particular rare one reaching a staggering $1.3 million have shaken the numismatic world. You heard that right, $1.3 million for a quarter. So make sure you stick around till the end, because we're going to uncover everything you need to know to determine whether you're sitting on a fortune. Let's start with the basics. The 2020 Washington Quarter was issued as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. This specific quarter represents the National Park of American Samoa. It features an absolutely unique design: two Samoan fruit bats, a mother hanging upside down with her pup clinging tightly to her. The reverse design was meant to bring attention to the species and conservation efforts. But what really got collectors buzzing is what's on the front. The obverse still features George Washington's profile, designed by John Flanagan way back in 1932. But there's something special about the 2020p minted version now. Let's break it down. The letter P stands for the Philadelphia Mint. Over 200 million of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint alone. So what makes this one quarter stand out among the rest? Why is one worth over $1 million while most are still worth only 25 cents? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and most importantly, errors. That's right. The holy grail of coin collecting is error coins. And in 2020, there were some extraordinary errors released into circulation. Some of these errors are so subtle that only a trained eye can spot them. Others? Well, they're glaring and unmistakable. We're talking double dies, struck through grease, off-center strikes, and even die clashes. And it's not just about the error itself. It's about the condition of the coin. A coin graded MS 67 or higher with a unique error can fetch jaw-dropping prices at auction. One of the most famous examples is a 2020p Washington Quarter with an ultra-rare double die obverse that sold for thousands of dollars. But what sent shockwaves through the collecting community was a coin reportedly graded MS 69 with a pristine die clash and doubled features, sold in a private collector auction for over $1.3 million. Although the exact buyer and auction house remained confidential, this sale set the standard for modern coin collecting. It made the 2020p quarter not just a circulating coin, but a cultural phenomenon. Now let's talk about the grading. If you have a 2020p quarter and it's still in good condition, the first thing you want to do is examine it under a magnifying glass or, better yet, a digital microscope. Look closely at the bat's eyes, the pup's limbs, and especially George Washington's face. Check for doubling, weird die marks, or odd textures. If you see anything unusual, you might just be holding a rare error coin. Then you need to have it graded. Send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A grade of MS 65 or higher already puts it in the premium category. MS 67 and above? That's where the real money starts rolling in. And if you have a verified error on a high-grade coin, you're no longer holding 25 cents. You're holding a potential investment that could change your life. Now here's the kicker. Even coins without errors are rising in value. A regular 2020p quarter in MS 65 condition can sell for $20 to $40 depending on demand. That's over 100 times its face value. But the real chase is for those high-grade, low-population coins. If your quarter is one of only a few in pristine condition with a unique feature, collectors will pay a premium, sometimes more than you can imagine. And don't forget about the historical significance. The 2020 coins were minted during the COVID-19 pandemic. Production was disrupted. Distribution was irregular. This alone gives the 2020 quarters a unique place in U.S. history. Collectors love a good story, and this coin has one. That's why prices continue to surge in the numismatic market. It's not just about metal. It's about history, art, rarity, and mystery. If you're wondering where you can sell such a coin, start with auction houses that specialize in coins. Heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections are top-tier choices. But before you rush in, get your coin properly graded and appraised. You can also connect with collectors on forums, Facebook groups, and Reddit communities. Some collectors are on the lookout 24/7 and will jump at the chance to grab a rare 2020p error. Let me hit you with some recent numbers. In the last 12 months alone, multiple 2020p quarters with minor errors sold for between $500 and $2,000. One with a rare struck-through error topped out at just over $8,000. And remember that $1 million sale I mentioned? Whether or not it gets verified publicly, it's clear that this coin has sparked something in the collector world that can't be ignored. So the next time you get change at the store or pull some coins out of your piggy bank, don't overlook the quarters. Check the year. Check the mint mark. Look for that P. And most importantly, inspect the coin. because the next $1 million quarter might be sitting right in your pocket right now. Before we wrap up, here's a quick checklist for you. 1. Get a magnifier. 2. Learn the common error types. 3. Know what MS65 and above looks like. 4. Follow the coin auctions online to keep up with trends. 5. Never clean your coin. I repeat, never clean your coin. That alone can drop its value by 90%. And 6. If you think you've got something special, get it graded. That tiny step could turn your quarter into a life-changing jackpot. Thanks for watching. If you learned something today, hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries, and drop a comment below telling us if you've ever found a 2020p quarter in your change. Who knows? Maybe one of our viewers is sitting on the next $1 million find. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and remember, treasure is everywhere. You just have to know where to look.